Sorry. Welcome to the weigh-in. And tonight we are discussing Texas versus Winter Storm 2021. All right, guys. Normally I would have my virtual backdrop up against my green screen, but as I've stated before, if you watched on any of my other lives, the new computer I got doesn't do very well with all of the background drops. So still trying to work out the kinks. I was actually trying to get both of my computers up. Long story short, did not work in my favor in time for the show tonight. But we'll be working on those technology issues going forward. But so tonight you're gonna have a kind of a bland backdrop for me. But normally you will see my Dallas skyline at night, which I love. I want to welcome everyone in to the weigh-in, where tonight again we're going to be discussing Texas versus Winter Storm 2021. Again tonight we're going to be talking about Texas versus Winter Storm 2021. Hashtag Winter Storm 2021. I hope y'all are ready to have a fun-filled conversation tonight. We definitely have so much to talk about and so many things to do. So I hope y'all are ready to get involved in the conversation. Of course, as always, you can become a part of my live panel once I open those lines up for you, and take part in the conversations that we're going to be having. And y'all, tonight there's a lot to unravel. All right. So again, tonight, just want to remind you that we are discussing the weigh-in. All right, the weigh-in, and our topic is Texas versus hashtag Winter Storm 2021. I have been preparing for this all week throughout all of the technology issues that I've had and all the other issues that I've had. So I hope y'all are ready to have a great conversation. I know people are going to be joining us kind of late as we get into the conversation. I know people are getting off of their shows and everything like that, including myself. But we're going to go ahead and get started so that we can have this conversation. So I know that a lot of our teachers are out tomorrow, at least in the Dallas Metroplex area, or virtually teaching. I know some other people are back at work, so I'm gonna try not to make it too long tonight, but there's so much to uncover. I'm excited to take on this task tonight because I think there's a lot to talk about, like an extreme lot to talk about. All right, so how are y'all guys doing tonight? Let's go ahead and get it in. Go ahead in the chat box. Let me know how you're doing and how is it, how are you, how are things going for you? Real quick before we start our first part of the conversation. How are y'all doing tonight? Just want y'all to check in and let me know where you're streaming from. Are you in Texas? Are you in other states? I have people from all areas that are following me. And most importantly, I do want to go ahead and say, do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, especially since most of my following does come from Facebook. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel, therefore I can get more things. As your channel grows, YouTube opens up more options for you when you're streaming. So I need to grow my numbers. So if you could subscribe to my YouTube channel for me at UC Dance, which is my original YouTube channel that I've had for years, years upon years. If you could subscribe to that channel, I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Thank you. All right. I see Miss Vicky Lee. Hey, Vicky Lee. I see you're here in Lancaster, Texas. All right. You're Lancaster, Texas. Thank you. For some odd reason, I still can't see your comment on this particular platform, but it's okay. I am watching on my backup here on my phone. So I'll be monitoring the chat room just in case for certain people whose comments may not pop up. All right. So thank you, Vicky Lee. Thank you so much for being a part of my broadcast. All right. We're going to continue on. Let me see. So I want to go ahead and start up with our first video or our first thing and start the comments. I'm not going to open up the chat box just yet. As far as letting people into the panel, because I definitely want your outtake. But before I do that, I wanted to start with one thing first. Well, this one's not in my VIP group. So my YouTube channel is there. So you might want to go to my YouTube channel. That might work better for you. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get to, I want to start off with what happened here in Texas. A lot has happened here in the last couple of days. So I would definitely want to start off with the top of the week and everything that we saw. All right. Hey, Miss King, how are you? All right. Hello. How are you? Another one of our Dallas people. Okay, so I definitely want to start off at the top of the week and kind of what we saw happening at the top of the week. And so I'm getting that prepared for us. Again, been trying to do this several ways, but I'm just going to go back to the old faithful way. Okay, going to go back to our little old faithful way. All right. So our first video that we're going to start with, I want to start with a recap of how the week started in Texas before we even got to where we got to. All right. So here we go.
Oh, shit.
All right, y'all. That was a quick clip of the car wreck that made national headlines. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am doing very great. Thank you. That was a clip of the car wreck that made national headlines here in Fort Worth, Texas. That clip made national headlines, and it was a really, really rough. I mean, that was a rough car wreck, y'all. Definitely one that a lot of people saw around the nation, and that started our week here in the winter storm before it really got bad for Texans. But that was the first thing when the ice initially came down, and definitely caused a travesty here in the Fort Worth, Texas metroplex. So if you haven't seen that video, y'all, I definitely want you to understand that there was so much that could have been shown from that video. And there was about 133 car pileup here from that video. And I have that video in other angles too, but I don't want, just because of the graphic nature of it, I don't want to show too much. So I just wanted to kind of give you a quick follow-up. But that definitely was something that was very tragic here. And so that started off our week making national headlines about the car wreck that happened here in the Fort Worth area of DFW, and just seeing all of the issues that happened. So as we progress through the week, of course, Texas, the winter freeze was definitely real here. And that freeze definitely had a great impact on hey, honey, how are you? I just saw your comment. I'm sorry. What's going on? I'm glad to know you're safe and well. Glad to know you're safe and well. That definitely let me know that our week was going to be rough. Of course, black ice. I mean, people out here not realizing black ice and how these Texas roads and bridges definitely have an issue. And so that definitely started a rough week here. We made national headlines for this major car wreck that happened here in the DFW Metroplex. And it was crazy. It was very crazy. It was very, hey, Miss Washington, it was very crazy that car wreck happened here in the DFW Metroplex, and that so many people were affected, so many families. And that was just the beginning of the travesties that would happen during the week of hashtag Winter Storm 2021. Y'all, it's crazy. All right. So we come to find out that schools were closed down preparing for the weather, because we knew we were having this big winter freeze that were going to come over. And so as that week went on, people started losing power Sunday night, Monday night. My neighborhood was affected. We were told there would be rolling blackouts. And so that they would do that to help save the energy that was going to be happening here in the DFW Metroplex, because our places where our equipment was not able to handle the amount of electricity that was going to be demanded, especially with the freezing weather. And so that was something we had to get ready for. And, we all, I think, tried to deal with that the best that we could. However, we were not able, hey, honey, we were not able to understand what really was going to happen as we got there. So come to find out, so many areas went out of power. My area and my neighborhood directly was affected. Definitely saw my area, having issues. I mean, our power went out probably Monday night, and it wasn't until Wednesday night. So I went about 48 hours without constant electricity. It would come on in the rolling blackout. So I was in the midst of a rolling blackout. Hey, honey. Hey, honey, how are y'all? How are y'all? And so I was in the midst of a rolling blackout and definitely saw the effects of the rolling blackouts. But the problem was the blackout was not rolling very much. Okay. The blackout was only coming every so often. I mean, the blackouts was happening. Oh my God, if they cut our power on for an hour, I mean, we could go almost 10 hours without seeing electricity again. And then and they didn't tell you when the power was going to come off, when it was going to come on, how long you were going to have it. So, I mean, you could get it for a couple of minutes, you could get it for a couple of hours. That was on and off for about 3 days that I experienced in my neighborhood. Now, thank the Lord that I was not one that experienced bursting pipes. And I was worried about that, especially in my kitchen area, because that area is more cold and there's a lot of wind that comes on that backside of my house where my kitchen is. So definitely, because I'm on the bottom of a hill, so I'm getting a lot of downwind. And so definitely was worried about my kitchen area, definitely was worried about bursting pipes. So I didn't want to leave my home, although I had a lot of wonderful people who welcomed me into their place. Definitely did not want to leave my home and deal with that. So it was very, very crazy that that I was going through those things, but did go without power. Had to use that fireplace to try to heat up the house. Definitely, all my house is all electric. So I don't have gas. I couldn't heat up water. Couldn't do anything. I mean, I was literally on a shutdown for about 48 to 72 hours here in my local house. And so it really taught you something. I mean, you literally have to go into survival mode. But hearing how many people went without water, without electricity, without so many of the necessities that we are accustomed to in our daily lives. I mean, not being able to take a bath. I mean, and I'm just going to keep it real, y'all. It was too cold to be trying to take a bath. I couldn't heat up water. I couldn't do anything. So for almost 3 days, I was not able to take a bath. I was bundled up because I was scared that if the power came on and I took a bath, that I would be stuck in the cold weather with open pores and make myself sick or get pneumonia because it was that cold. So I'm being realistic here. And I know some people are going to be like, oh my God, you didn't take a bath. Well, I mean, do you take a bath and get sick? Or do you take a bath and or not take a bath and just deal with the consequences later? We can always bathe off the dirt, but I mean, you don't have a chance. You get sick, especially with COVID, pneumonia, all that stuff on set. I mean, you don't want to open yourself up to a whole bunch of sicknesses that you don't have. Oh wow, thank you, Janae. You said I still don't have water. That is crazy. Even in this day, you still don't have water. And you're down in Temple, Texas, correct? You're in the Temple area. Wow, that is crazy. I just would assume y'all would have had water by now. I can't believe you don't have water. That is crazy. Hey, Miss Faye. Oh my God. Janae, okay, good. I'm glad you're here. If you're able to stick around or have electricity to keep your phone charged or however you're watching me, please stay about because I would love to hear some of your experiences when I open up the lines. If you can hang around. If you can, I do understand. All right. So I want to start off with just talking about a couple of things, and I'm definitely going to open up the lines because I don't want to just give you all of my experience, but y'all, I definitely went through the storm. Like I said, I had a lot of wonderful people that opened up their homes from near and far to me to be able to come and get out of the cold. But I had an animal that was here that was going through heat at the time, so I didn't want that to be a burden. I didn't want to leave my animal unattended. I didn't want to leave my house unattended because I was scared about bursting pipes. Wow, you just got water yesterday? Really? Wow. I didn't want to go through all of those stages. So I just stuck it out and I burnt my fireplace and tried to keep my room warm. Unfortunately, my fireplace is in the most open area of my house and I have vaulted ceilings. So therefore, it's very hard to heat a room that has so much space. So you have to stay near the fireplace and all of that. It was very crazy. I'm in Temple and I've been without water since Sunday night. Oh my God. Wow. That is crazy. I just can't imagine going a full week without water, y'all. That is crazy. Okay, we're definitely we're gonna weigh into that. So hold that thought if you can hang around with us. So I want to start off with what the judge said. Judge Clay Jenkins in Dallas posted on his Facebook and Twitter accounts. And so I'm gonna go there first, and I'm going to share his post. So he says on his post. Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to make the post a little bigger. Let me see if I can make this a little bigger, y'all. If not. Okay, so we're just going to watch. So on his post, he states that just had to call with Encore CEO and senior leadership. The power generators increased electric reliability council of Texas, or ERCOT, Forecast for last night didn't happen. During our call, ERCOT demanded an additional 500 megawatts be pulled from transmission, bringing them up to the minute total to 18,500 shed. So he was posting out several of the of what was going on with the energy delivery and everything, and he was telling us what was happening, day for day, hour by hour, as far as he knows. But he posted something even better, and I'm trying to get to that post. I thought that was it, but it was not the correct one. So he kept telling us what the generators was, and all those numbers, y'all, don't mean nothing to me because I'm gonna be honest, I don't know anything about that. Let's see. He was letting us know, by the what was happening and what was going on. Now, our mayor of Dallas definitely has been outspoken about the travesties that have been there. Let's see. Clay Jenkins was on it. He was definitely tweeting out quite a bit, y'all. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find. Okay, so then like this one here, he says, if your city asks you to conserve water doing water or do anything else during this crisis, please do it. Different cities have different sources and treatment centers. Currently at the city of Dallas, the water system good. No need to change what you're doing, but that's not the case in all cities. So he was speaking out about the water crisis on February the 16th. Okay. Here's another one where they talked about bills possibly going up. We're definitely going to weigh into that. I'm trying to get to this post that he made because it makes all the sense and everything else we're going to talk about tonight if he didn't delete it. Where is it at? Y'all, I'm sorry. I thought I had it already on there. Let me see. It's crazy when you think you have it. Okay, so then he talks about on February 18th, Texas grid fails to weatherize repeats. Mistake Fed cited 10 years ago. Texas must demand our state leaders fix this and don't let it happen again. Job one, this is to keep residents safe. This is another issue that I saw. Our state was aware that there needed to be an update. Okay, our state was aware that there needed to be an update into the system that we were having, and I'm gonna blow this up a little bigger. And they did not take the weatherization, y'all. Now, keep in mind, El Paso did leave the ERCOT system and go on their own, and therefore, El Paso didn't experience any weather issues. El Paso didn't go through any of that, and it's crazy that you can sit here and think about how El Paso literally went through all of it. They're in the mountains, they're in the West Texas. They went through the same freezing weathers we went through, but their city was prepared because they were on a different power grid. You have Tennessee, Mississippi, Louisiana, and so many other states, Oklahoma, all going through some of the similar freezing weathers, and their states did not lose that type of electricity and power, not as a massive issue. But Texas, one of the states that stand out, a Texas that is used to being standing on its own and having the resources that it has, did not make the cut. And what does that speak for our state? How does that affect our state? That is something that we definitely need to think about as we move forward in this conversation, and what we need to talk to our leaders about, because that's crazy, y'all, to know that our state was not prepared and that we were warned about the unpreparedness of our state, especially dealing with the electricity grid and the water grids too. Weatherization is very good. And I understand Texas is not used to 0 temperatures or -1, but guys, you got to be ready for everything. Let's see. There's one statement he said, y'all, and I'm still trying to find it. I think he may have deleted the statement because I'm not seeing it anymore. Let me see. Yeah, I'm not seeing the statement that I'm looking for. It's okay. I'll find it. So we're going to move on into the next part of this conversation before I open the lines, because I definitely want to hear your stories and your experiences and kind of what y'all want to weigh in. So I'll be putting the link in the link box shortly. But before we get there, I want to show a couple of other clips real quick, and they're all short. Some are pictures, but I definitely want to show a couple of clips of some of the tragedies that have happened throughout the week to remind us where we've been and where we're going to go, or where we're headed as of now. All right, so And I've been posting about stuff. So if you watch my page, then you definitely know exactly. So I'm gonna start with my own tweet. You were blessed, Faye. You never lost electricity or water. You were blessed. I just want you to know that, because everybody didn't have that. But I know people that did. Some people were on hospital grids too, and that was another thing. If you were on a hospital grid, then you definitely, you definitely had a little better luck than some of us. All right. So I posted on February 16th. So I've been without electricity more than I have been with it in the last 24 hours. 4 hours to be exact. My house is hitting freezing temperature. How can you keep the pipes from freezing with no heat? How can you keep your groceries bought with no fridge? Although my groceries stayed in the refrigerator and never went down. So that was never an issue for me. Thank you for the share. It's not complaining, but make it make sense. They lost the rolling. It's just damn black. It's just a damn blackout at this point. All right. So that was my frustration in the middle of the cold, y'all. I was freezing cold. I had on a freaking winter suit. All right. And so remember they told us that some of the turbines and stuff were down and that all that was there. Hey, honey, how are you? They told us that the what are they called? The wind turbines were down. And some of that is true, but some of that is not true. And so I found some TikToks that I had been posting on my website so I could have them. And I want to show this one real quick. Hold on, y'all. Oops. Hold on. Let me see if I can blow this up real quick. Hold on. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I'm trying to blow this up real quick so that we can see it. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. It's asking me to log in so I can show it. I thought it was just going to be able to blow up. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get past these little technology woes. All right. All righty. Let's see. So that we can really see the videos the way that I want to see them. Hold on just a second. It's not blowing up the way I want it to blow up. Let's see. It doesn't want to blow up. I'm kind of upset about that. I'm sad. Okay, there we go. Here we go. I got it now. I was like, I know there's a way to blow it up. Okay, I didn't click it right. All right, here we go. Yes, thank you, Shay. Is anyone needing assistance? We definitely want to talk about that. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to have dead space. I'm just trying to make sure I get all these things correct. So here's the first video, and this one addresses the wind turbine issue that they said we were having, okay? Hold on, I shared the wrong page again. I'm sorry, y'all. Picked the wrong page. Let me pick the right one this time. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Here we go. All right. So let's take a quick listen.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Okay, that's somebody watching the turbines, and they're spinning.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
So I just wanted to see how some of you may feel about that, because those wind turbines were spinning in some areas. I don't know about the whole state of Texas, but that was the first thing I heard about our stuff, okay? And Shay Love is saying, is anybody in need of assistance and what's their situation? Shay, I know that, I know you're in Austin, but Miss Janae is still without electricity and water, I think, okay? I think she says she's still without electricity and water, so she's in that area, all right? Well, she said she doesn't have water. She may have electricity now, but she still doesn't have water. All right. So I just wanted to make sure that I covered that, because that was the first out. That was the first way they tried to get out of some of this stuff, saying that, oh, well, you know, there's no the wind turbines are frozen. But it was some of the other nuclear plants that did. I do know that. But the wind turbines are supposed to already be weatherized. My brother used to work on the wind turbines. Okay. So knowing that information, okay, knowing that information, then this is kind of how I feel. This is how I feel because this is what was happening to me during my experience when we were on the rolling blackouts. And if you were on a rolling blackout, then you may understand this piece here.
First, I suggest you pack your toothbrush. And then I want you to get your socks, your shaving kit, your underwear, your polo legs if you think you need them. Get your ass to hell!
You know what? You just tell me what you want me to do, and that's what I'll do.
First, I suggest you pack your toothbrush. And then I want you to get your socks, your shaving kit, your underwear, your polo legs if you think you need them. Get your ass to hell!
You know what? You just tell me what you want me to do.
So that is just an example. That was just an example of a little bit of a joke from TikTok, of course, but definitely a joking matter at how some of the Texans feel towards what's going on here in the DFW area. That's how they treated the storm, okay? And we don't want to forget the storm was not without its tragedies, okay? And so I want to quickly highlight some of the tragedies, and I'm going to start opening up the lines for us to talk about our experiences and what we went through personally. So the first one I want to, real quick, I'm just going to show a couple of more things, and then I'm definitely going to open up these lines, okay? Let me get to this one first. Okay, so this is one I came across, and it really crushed my heart. This was out in the rural Texas area somewhere. I don't know exactly where, but this happened. All right, that was a little boy, a little African-American boy, from what I can tell, that was found I guess had crossed the lake and didn't realize it and fell into the lake. Okay, and those people were nice enough to find the little boy, lucky enough to find the little boy and pulled him out of the water. They had to get into the freezing lake to go get him out of that water. And we saw examples of that. People falling in pools, people falling in stuff, stepping on the ice, not realizing it wasn't strong enough to support their weight and falling into those areas. You saw people definitely dying. Guys, what do we do when we see things that we can't address? I'm just showing examples of how this affected us in different ways. Here's another example I want to show you real quick of another way that we have not been there. Hey, honey, how are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Here's another quick example. Again, I'm showing you these shorter TikTok versions. That way it won't take so long. But look at this. What do you do when there's a fire and there's no water? Houses on fire and they can't put the fire out. What do you do? Again, that's just a fire. And what do you do when you can't put your fire out? Guys, that was happening in Houston, Texas. You couldn't get the fire out. All right. And there's just so many more things that I definitely would love to show y'all if time permitted. But I know it's 30 minutes in and I want to do it, but it's just a few more things I need to show y'all just to remind us what we've been through this week. Okay. Just a quick reminder. Here is a hospital here in Dallas that definitely saw some of the tragedy. This is local here in Dallas. And I didn't realize that the hospitals were going through these issues either, because I know they didn't lose power, but we didn't think about the freezing issues there, and they have pipes all over the place. So God bless those people who were affected. Here's another one.
This is where this thing initially fell. Yeah, this is where this thing initially fell.
That's here at a local hospital. I'm not going to name the hospital for health reasons. I mean, for just for the reasons. But that was here at a local hospital here in the Dallas area, and I mean they were going through it. So imagine trying to take care of patients, COVID patients that have been free, that might have when they've been too cold. Okay, patients that's been exposed to pneumonia, and then you're having to deal with this whole winter storm 21 on top of that. Okay. Or the man that froze in his recliner. They found people frozen, froze to death from the cold weather. I mean, there are so many examples of what our people had to go through, and so many more examples of resiliency of what our people have also gone through together. Definitely just wanted y'all to think about a couple of those things. I want to break it up. I got more I could definitely talk about, but I definitely want to stop and think about that. But before we do that, one last thing I want to share. And then I'm going to start putting those. Matter of fact, I'm going to start putting those links in the thing now. And if you want to join me, again, you don't have to share your video, but definitely you can get on live. It makes the conversation that much better. I'm going to go ahead and start putting those in the chat. So I'm going to put it in my YouTube first, and then I'm going to share that also on my Facebook on the live. And if you would like to join, feel free to join, y'all. This is a conversation that needs to be had. I know you might not want to show your face, but your voice definitely needs to be heard, y'all. Your voice definitely needs to be heard. So I just put that in the chat box so that y'all can have that information, and it'll bring you to the backstage. You won't be on camera until I bring you on, so just be patient with me. But one last thing I want to quickly share is all of the people that are working to get our state back together. We cannot go through this and not think about all the people who have made it to where we can get to where we are today. So we definitely want to praise those people as well. And so here's another shot of all of the people that are, working in the cold weather with freezing lines. I want to bring that up so you can really see it. Okay, look at the lines. They're frozen. There's complete ice on them, and they're having to work up in the air, in the wind, trying to get power restored. So I know we as Texans are very upset with the crash, but let's not take it out on everybody. Let's thank those people who are out here braving the weather, trying to get our power back to us in the cold weather. I just wanted to quickly do that. That touched my heart when I saw someone post this, and I definitely wanted to bring a little bit of attention to that platform. Okay, so we definitely want to thank those people. All right, guys, it's 30 minutes in. I didn't realize I've been talking that long, but there's so much to uncover and unpack from this tragedy. I want to go ahead and open it up. So if you want to join us live, y'all, please join me live. Again, you don't have to share your camera, but share your voice. Let your voice be heard. I definitely want to hear from you. So again, I've placed the link in there. The link has the directions. If you just follow those directions, you can get here on the live. Again, you can close your camera. It'll allow you to keep your camera off, but share your voice. Please don't be scared. We need to hear your stories, need to hear what you have to offer. So I put that link out there again in the thing. You just click the link and follow the directions, please. All right, so while I'm waiting to see, can I add you? I'm driving. You would have to click the link and then do it. But yes, I can add you, but I can't just add you by yourself. You have to click the link and follow because it brings you into the studio. I know that. Keep in mind, I'm not streaming. I'm streaming to Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So I'm not actually in Facebook nor YouTube. Okay. I'm actually in another platform. So keep that in mind. Okay. So if you just click the link, it should bring you in and then I can bring you up. But I definitely want to hear your stories. I want to hear what y'all are going through. What is your current situation? What is your thoughts about our leadership in Texas? And we haven't forgot about Ted Cruz. I'm leaving him for last. We're going to weigh into him because I really feel that definitely needs to be talked about our leadership and the commitment that they have to the people, especially during a crisis. And not saying don't live your life, but saying that you have to, you have to understand and weigh your options. And this was not the time to be on vacation. All right, real quick, while I'm waiting on those to pick up here in the conversation or in the chat room, I can definitely address your stuff there as well. I want to talk about another post that Judge Clay Aiken posted And this post is even better. I'm going to take myself off the screen so you can see it better. But he did post on 8 hours ago, how come Texans face high energy bills? What caused it and how can Texas fix it? The energy market scheme was designed by Texas leaders, notice he called it a scheme, to benefit large-scale commercial companies using a lot of energy. In Texas, commercial energy shoppers can take an advantage of the opportunities and wholesale purchases that small businesses in ordinary Texas can't get. For this, companies have employees, consultants who manage their energy purchase by taking advantage of price falls and covering risks. With these companies in mind, Texas created a system that allows a wide range of shopping options, but little consumers protection. The rest of us buy energy from retail companies that operate as middlemen. These retailers don't generate or deliver power. They offer a variety of plans to our consumers. So he's talking about those energy schemes and how people are doing, how we're going to be facing those issues, y'all. That is very, very important from Judge Clay Jenkins. I don't know, I keep saying Akins. Judge Clay Jenkins here in Texas, y'all. That is a very important component that I definitely wanted to bring attention to. All right, I'm still waiting on people to get in. I'm hoping that y'all are trying. I know, thank everyone who's on live. Please don't be scared. I beg of you, come and share your voice, your opinions. This forum and panel is very important. You won't realize who you may touch if you share your opinion or your aspect. So I'm gonna give a couple more minutes before I move on to our next topic. Definitely want to give a chance for everybody to speak out on it. And thank each and every one of you for being a part of this. I really, really, really appreciate it. And again, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel while I'm waiting, because it's very important that I do to keep bringing y'all great content. I want to grow my YouTube channel because eventually I will be trying to get YouTube to have a channel strictly for the Weigh In. But I need to grow that area on my YouTube. And, you know, YouTube requires a certain number of subscribers. So please help me reach my number, whether you get on YouTube or not. Just help me reach my number. All right. Each subscription will greatly be appreciated. All right, y'all. I'm looking to see. All right. Any comments, any feedback for me at this point? There are quite a few of y'all on here. I know some are still trying to get on here. You said I was trying, but the page says my mic and camera are blocked. You have to unblock it. You have to give it permission. There should be a pop-up window on your thing. It may be on your phone too, but there's a pop-up window that should come up, and you'll just say that you have to give it access to your camera and mic. If you push no, then that's blocking it. So try it again and see if you can give it access, because it's going to always ask for permission from your mic and your camera. There should be a window that pops up. Thank you for trying. I really appreciate you. All right. Let's see. I'm still looking for that statement that Judge Clay Jenkins stated. There's something that he put that really, really stuck out with me, and I really will feel like I didn't do my due diligence if I don't share that statement. Okay, I think I just found it. You said if you did, make sure your phone options will allow it too. It could be something in your settings. Or try it one more time. I've never had nobody had an issue. Okay, y'all, Shay Love just shared a link that will help. I'm not for sure what it's to. Shay, you want to give us more information on what the link is to? Or you want to come on the live and explain everything so that way you can help? I know you're trying to reach out and help everybody, so I definitely want to do that. While you're doing that, I want to, and thank you, Shay Love, for that. I want to share this from Judge Clay Jenkins. Again, this is the post I was initially looking for. He says, power generation is stubbornly staying at 47K megawatts. It reached 50K yesterday, but then declined. This was also on February the 17th. The problem stemmed from two main sources: a lack of winterization packages on generator plants and units, and a lack of gas line modernization being required by state leadership. Okay, those were the two main sources stated by Judge Jenkins. Gas lines are regulated by the Railroad Commission of Texas. This is a 3-member commission elected statewide. Generators are regulated by Public Utility Commission of Texas, or PUC, which is a board appointed by office of the governor, Greg Abbott. They, not the Electric Reliability Council of Texas, or ERCOT, made the policy decision to not require the needed winterization and modernization standards required in the other 49 states. In an effort to provide the lowest cost energy to large commercial users, they failed to ensure enough protection for residents in their homes. We need a system with the lowest prices that ensures reliability. Hello, everyone. Hello. There lies a liability. Where am I at? Reliability in completely predictable situations like this. It's happened around the Super Bowl in 2011, and it will happen again. Yes, it did, because I remember driving in it in 2011. We know extreme weather happens here, and we know weather patterns are getting worse due to climate change. The governor has called for a review of ERCOT. They should be expanded to the PUC and the Railroad Commission. ERCOT's job is to manage the load. The Railroad Commission's job is to require a safe, efficient, and effective gas delivery system that doesn't freeze on its way to the gas plants. Most offline gas plants during this crisis have been off because the gas lines going to their plants are frozen. Okay, so he's telling us where the issues lie, where they lie. And that's very important that we recognize those issues and thank you, Clay Jenkins, for saying what the truth is, because we need to know. People are blaming ERCOT and they only have a small part in there. There's a bigger part. Okay, I see 2 people just came in. I'm gonna let y'all up in just a second. Thank both of y'all, but I do see you're here. Hold on just a second. You said, I was just going to say, I will not complain about what I experienced. People were truly suffering. I just have to clean up water throughout the day still. Water, you had leakage in your house? Oh my God, okay, so good. You're here. We're gonna go ahead and let some of these people talk. So welcome. Hey, Miss Randall, how are you? All right, so Shay Love, I'm gonna start with you first because I want you to share what you just shared in the panel. So welcome everyone. Welcome Shay Love to the panel.
Hey guys. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you fine. Go ahead. Tell us what you shared. And thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So the first link I wanted to well, first let me go back to what was the lady's name in Temple that you shared earlier that was out of water?
I don't want to mess up her first name. Last name Janae. I always say her first name wrong. It hurts. This is her right here.
Okay. I'm going to inbox her some information to see what we can do to get her some water in Temple, because Temple is like, that's my home. So I just wanted to put that out there. But as far as the first link that I shared, that is a link with, I think everybody knows Beyonce, but she is pretty much assisting up to $1,000 for anyone that needs assistance in Texas. Yes, that link there. And again, I want to stress the fact that it's up to 1,000, but all you have to do is just apply for that and put your information in there. The second link is government assistance. So basically, anybody that was out, yes, granted, it may state out of power or without water for up to 5 days, but even if it was 2 or 3, please, I suggest that you guys apply to that as well. And that is also, that link there is also helping people with their rent. I just had a lady, she stated that they're going to help her with her rent for up to 3 months. Now, is that everybody's situation? No, everybody's situation is going to be a little different due to the simple fact of, if you're working or if you're not working, or if anything was destroyed or if anything was flooded. So everybody's situation is going to be a little different. So I just wanted to throw those 2 links out there because I know a lot of people don't really know about them, but I definitely just, if you guys need any type of assistance, I definitely just wanted to provide that to you guys. And as far as anybody in the Austin area, if you are needing any assistance, like with home or power or anything like that, I have opened my home. I have everything running here. Just inbox me or, reach out to me. However, reach out to Brandon, he'll reach out to me. And that's Austin, Round Rock, San Antonio, even. Temple may be a little too far out for you guys, but just inbox me or hit up Brandon and tell him to, get in contact with me, and I'll see whatever I can do to help you guys. I'm here for it.
Okay, thank you so much. That is a blessing that you're still helping those in your personal home, y'all. And although we saw a disaster, y'all, I will say we definitely saw a lot of people being helpful to another. I said that I had several people reach out to me to try to assist me during that time. And I definitely saw so many others reaching out and helping each other. And that this showed our resilience as people that in tough times, even with a pandemic, we still can show each other brotherly love. And it's something that I really love, y'all. And it's very heartwarming. I'm even teary-eyed. I'm trying not to get that way, but it's teary-eyed because it is such a tragedy. And that our leadership has been so vulnerable and not serving us the way that we needed to. All right. Hold on, Shay. I want to keep you on the panel, but I'm going to put Ms. King and let her talk. So I'm going to add her into it. I'm going to definitely add Shay in just a second. Okay. Hold on, y'all. And thank y'all for joining. All right, here we go. Ms. King, I'm adding you now. Hey, Ms. King.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Hello. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you fine. Go ahead.
Well, good. First off, I just want to say thank you for even providing the opportunity for friends and family to come on to share experiences or just basically support you because you're wonderful. But this is really good. And, you know, it's just been so bittersweet because now that Texas has experienced this, we can now see that our leadership, we've always kind of known that our leadership has not been doing what's in the best interest for many Texans, but now we're on the stage. The world is seeing this. The whole United States is seeing this. And hopefully that is going to bring about some kind of change, positive change here in the state of Texas. And that's all on that. But then I would also like to say thank you to Shay for providing, the resources for people. And I will pass it on to the people that I know. And just thank God that all of us are making it through. It was hard, and it's a shame that we have to be resilient like this in times like this. But thank God for friends, family, and even strangers in this time that have opened their homes and or provided resources for people to get some help. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. King. I really appreciate that. Shay we had another person, Shay, if you're still here, Ms. Janae, if you, no, not you, Shay, the Shay, but if you can come back, Janae, I saw another device log in under the name Shay, but it was a different spelling. So I think it was Ms. Janae. I know you said you were in your car. So if you're able to come back. I saw you. I just hadn't got to you yet. I'm sorry. So y'all, if you do join, just remember it puts you backstage. So I see you, but I try to let people up one by one so that we can speak. But thank y'all. Real quick, while y'all are here, I want to share in the Dallas area, there are warming stations that Judge Clay Jenkins has hosted, and I think I have a better photo. I'm sorry, so forgive me. I'm trying to get information out, y'all. It's a lot to keep up with on a daily basis. It's a lot to keep up with. Trust me. But I'm trying to share. Hold on, let me see.
Brandon, may I interrupt for a minute?
What?
I saw that same list. I don't know where they got the list from. Are those schools on there?
I think some of them are schools. Some of them are not all of them look like schools. Let me look at it real quick.
And I'm only saying that because my school is Harry Stone, and that is not the address.
Those are schools. Let's see, Stone.
At the top, go up. Right after Grawler. Yeah.
The address.
That is not the I don't know if that is my school, but my school is Harry Stone.
I only know of one Harry Stone unless there's a different location, but those are schools. But a lot of schools are, I know that the Dallas area, of course, shut down due to a lot of schools being affected. I mean, pipes bursted. I know at my local school, that was an issue at the school that I work at. But these are the warming stations that they posted. So apparently there must be somewhere, but they may have gotten some addresses wrong. I'm sure a lot of this information is being rushed out. But these are some of the warming stations. A lot of them are local schools in the Dallas County area. Not saying these are the only ones, but definitely in the Dallas area if you need it. Again, these are some of the warming stations that they have provided a list to us. So I'm going to blow this up just a little bit just so you can kind of see it better. And if you need or if someone you know needs it, you can find this list. It's also posted on Judge Clay Jenkins on his page as well. I don't know where else they are posting it, but that's definitely posted there. So, like I said, you'll see. Oops, I'm clicking all the wrong stuff, y'all. A couple of the schools that are opened up, and I don't think all of these are schools, but I think a lot of them are. Yeah, some of these I know are not. Like Exelon Park is on there, so that's in South Dallas. Fireside. Some of these are what you call it, the recreation centers from Dallas as well.
Mm.
And then I see a couple of schools on here. So I'm just kind of scrolling through the list real quick. So you can kind of get some of these addresses. I will look at the names. Definitely go back and check the addresses that are on there as well. I think I saw somebody come in, but I guess not.
We lost Miss King, but I don't know if that was her trying to get back.
Oh, okay. There we go. I got you. Okay, yeah, she.
Thanks.
Huh? Okay. So again, y'all, if in the chat box, you will see the link to get on if you want to come in and speak or say anything. I definitely had some other people that said they wanted to get on. I'm not for sure if they're having issues. Let me see. I just want to make sure because I did have somebody else who wanted to come in and talk, but I have not seen them. So anyway, but anyway, any other your experiences that y'all would like to share, Miss King or Shay, while I have you here, if you want to, anything that y'all went through, or anything that you saw that you think is something we should bring attention to.
For me, you are knocking it all out of the park here. So I'm not going to step on any toes just yet because I know you waiting on that last bit and I'm waiting on that last bit. But other than that, I think you pretty much knocking it out here.
Thank you so much. I mean, it's a lot to tackle. I'm not perfect. I've just been trying to keep up with all of the information that has been coming across. And like I said, I'm not a big news follower, so it is hard. I depend on social media definitely a lot to keep up with everything, but I know there's some other experiences. Thank you, Dr. Eve Ruth, for your compliment. I appreciate you. I just follow my heart, y'all. I don't never know what topic I'm going to hit. I follow my heart to the topics. They kind of come to me, and I just thought I would not be doing a just service if I did not talk about what just happened here this week. Not because I'm trying to get subscribers, even though I would like them. Not because I think I needed just to talk about the topic, but I feel like this is something that we need to address. There are so many facets of this area. I mean, from the leadership to the ill preparedness to just our people in general. There are so many areas that are affected, and we need to talk about all of this because if we don't, come time to vote, people will be waiting for the next presidential voting time, and that's not what we need to be waiting on. We need to be voting in the local election, and I need people to realize it's the local elections that are the most important. The presidents matter, but they don't. The presidents does not mean a thing if your local area is wrong. A lot of y'all say, oh, well, Texas is always red. Well, it's always red because a lot of people don't get out and vote. Dallas, Austin, Houston, and San Antonio, for the most part, are blue areas. Of course, the rural areas are red, but those local areas, those four major big cities that we have are blue. And I want to say El Paso too, but I could be wrong. But if we got out and voted in the numbers we do for the presidential election, y'all, we could change the face of the state. Don't get me wrong. I think Texas has a lot of great things going. But one of the first things I thought about was how did that affect all of the corporations that are headquartered here in Dallas when the whole state shut down? I'm not talking about just roads and some schools. We're talking about your grocery stores shut down, gas stations were closed, fast food places that are 24/7 closed. Because people couldn't get to work. People couldn't be there. You had some jobs putting people up in hotels and things, but even the hotels were on power losses in some areas. So, this was a massive disaster. And like I said, starting the week off, you had that Fort Worth tragic car wreck, and that just literally set the tone for the rest of the week. Everything after that just was really a downhill spiral, in my opinion. So, Ms. King, anything you wanted to add?
Well, no, I'm just gonna leave it where you have it because you're doing a very good job, and there are a lot of people that are suffering seriously, and it's no need in continuing to pour salt on a wound. It's just not necessary. So You're doing a great job. We're going to leave it exactly where it is. And I'm going to hang up in a few minutes because I got to go clean up this water again.
No problem. Well, thank you if you must leave, but thank you for joining. I really appreciate you sharing your voice and, being a part of this. All righty, y'all. We're going to, real quick, I want to go ahead and switch the conversation to the other part of what I want to talk about, which is talking about Ted Cruz and his leadership.
Oh, I'll hang around for that.
I ain't gonna say nothing because I feel like he gonna, me and Brandon, we eye to eye, so I feel like he gonna say it all for me, and I'm just gonna be in the background. Word, amen, amen. Clap, clap, snap, snaps.
Don't be that way. So
look, going.
So there's so much that could be said. If you have not heard what's going on, just a quick synopsis of what's happening. And I'm going to use a clip from the Daily Social Distancing Show. He's funny, but he does deliver the news in a very comedic way. I need a little bit of comedy in my news because the news can be very
draining.
Yes, and sad. And that's one reason why I'm not an avid news watcher. But I just want to quickly use this clip and then definitely going to talk about this because, again, our nation is watching and so is the world. And they saw, again, another failure of our great state of Texas. Let me see. All right. So here we go. I'm going to share this real quick and then we'll talk about it right after. All right. Here we go. Okay, so a lot to take in there. Definitely different. I had a okay, there we go. I had another person join in on the panel. I'm not for sure if that person wants to come up. I want to make sure. Person, if you are wanting to join, can you nod your head for me? If you want to be on the panel live, can you nod your head for me, or do you want to just hang out in the back? Wasn't for sure.
We're all welcome. You're welcome, honey. Well, I'll give you a virtual hug. It's warm over here, I promise.
That's right.
Well, I know who it is, but I'm not for sure if they want to join. Let me text real quick and see that they want to be if they want to be up here or not. They came in on the social media break, so I definitely have to be reminded of that. Hold on just a second. Let me text because they may have me down too.
So let me ask you a question.
Yes.
We on YouTube?
We're on YouTube and Facebook. So on both.
Lord have mercy.
No.
Miss King.
Don't say that. I don't have a lot of followers, so it's not a big deal. I'm growing. Okay.
It only take one.
Thank you. To share to billions, okay?
My thing is, one thing is we're not bashing anybody, but we're discussing the topics, and the topics do need to be discussed.
They do.
They do, and like I said, we have our right to have freedom of speech. So they can't hold that against us. They can get mad, but they can't hold that against us. All right. So real quick, I want to go ahead and go. The other person doesn't want to come on just yet, but quickly, I want to discuss the Ted Cruz issue. And again, if anybody wants to join, I am again placing the links in the chat box, so you can too be a part of the live stream that is going on.
In regards to my links, because I don't know if anyone else has come on to your live since I posted those links. If you want to copy and paste those links back in there so they have that access, because I know some people probably don't see your comments till after your live on Facebook. But just FYI, if you want to copy those links and repost them in there, just so they can have it, you can do that.
Let me get to it real quick.
Because I know some people probably don't see your comments till after your live. But just FYI, if you want to copy those links and repost them in there,
okay. Give me just a second. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get the comments up. It might take me a second to repost that those links. Hold on, let me see.
That's okay. You can continue doing what you're doing. I'll do it.
Well, I want to talk real quick about the Ted Cruz issue. And so here's my thought on that. Leadership is a vulnerable, is a very serious a thing. And one thing about leadership is you have to take it seriously. And when you sign up to be a leader within our state, you are signing up to take on a massive, massive, massive situation. Oh, Cameron. So we're taking on a massive situation, and it means that you must give of yourself a lot. So I want everybody to understand that no matter what position, no matter what party affiliated with, a leader has to give of themselves a lot. And that's something that we as the people have to understand. They are very giving of themselves to be in that position. Now, with politicians and representatives, they are virtually hired by the people. We vote them in a sense, or some people are voted and then they're appointed by whatever offices, whatever. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure we vote in the right people who will make those best, or at least the semi-best decisions that we can based on what is available to us. We're not going to always agree. We're not going to always understand everybody's point or situation, and everybody you won't agree with. One thing I can say is during the pandemic, regardless of your political affiliation, regardless of your like or dislike for someone, this is a time where you are definitely bipartisan or tripartisan or whatever the word is. And then you definitely want to make sure that you are pushing the issue of showing that you are here for every single individual, no matter how you feel, from the rich to the poor. One thing that I'm been made aware of, I'm not going to say I can prove, but I definitely have some proof out there, is that when it came to the rolling blackouts and blackouts in general, they were not equally distributed. I'm going to go a little further, and if you disagree with me, that's fine. This is America. We have the right to disagree. But one thing I'm going to say is here in the Dallas area, there were several observations by many people, different people that I do know and don't know, that I have been watching their posts saying that some of the higher end areas, I won't name the area, but higher end areas of town did not go through the blackouts nor rolling blackouts at all during the time of the electricity crisis. And that was very devastating in some areas because they were saying that it was definitely classism, I guess is the word in a sense. Some classism going on. There was definitely a monetary thing. The rich didn't have to go through the same struggles as the poor or the lower socioeconomic class was. And that's something that to definitely be aware of. And again, as leadership, that's something that should have been addressed off top. Go on a vacation in the middle of, in the middle of a pandemic, not saying you cannot vacate, but in the middle of a pandemic that also now you've toppled with a crisis, an act of God crisis at that, in the middle of a pandemic is even worse. And then to lie about it to your constituents is even worse. What I will say is he did come back, but I don't think he would have come back had he not been caught. Which is why cameras, social media, and recording is very important, because you too can be caught on camera, on Candid Camera. I remember that show. Remember that Candid Camera? Anyway, so that is something that you have to think about, because it's crazy that this, again, is a showing of how they treat us as people. In the middle of us suffering, you have thousands of people without electricity, thousands of people without water, so many areas of your state affected. You packed your bag, which means you probably had electricity when the rest of the state didn't. And you boarded a plane in the middle of a winter storm, consciously got on a plane, whether you were taking your daughters or not, that's not my story to tell. Whether you were going on a vacation or not, that's not my story to tell. And went to vacate in an area that they say you highly criticize. And make decisions against a race and a nationality of people, and then went there and vacated as if it was nothing wrong. And when you got called out, you lied, and then you tried to return and clean up the story. And that is an issue that we have seen in our political offices, from the national White House all the way down to our local offices. Why are our political leaders not being held accountable? What do we have to do to get this man removed and get someone in? Because that right there to me says, I am not worthy of the position that I was appointed for. Not saying you cannot make a mistake, but I don't think that was a mistake. I think that was a deliberate decision to escape a situation in the middle of a pandemic. And then the winter storm crisis on top of that. And I don't agree with it. I could have understood if it was just the pandemic alone because we've been in it for almost a full year now. But now you've added a crisis and you still found a reason to get away. And from what I'm hearing from other news media outlet sources, it wasn't a planned trip. You up and just left. I mean, am I wrong here, people? I mean, chime in, tell me what you think. I know I'm saying a lot, and I know it's definitely a risky subject, but I just really want to know: am I the only one?
I don't think it's risky at all. Those are facts. That is exactly what happened. But even when the people from the electric companies were sitting down talking about it, you know, they said that this was going to be a money maker, and that's exactly what it's turning out to be. I just got my electric bill, and I can't pay that bill.
Yeah, I heard people getting $5,000-$10,000 bills, and my thing is, now for those who never lost electricity, I understand that you shouldn't be having to pay a bill just because you didn't lose. But then you got people who lost and still have extremely high bills.
Mhm.
It's crazy to believe that. It's crazy. And I have a comment that came in. I can't put it on the screen, but I do see it. Hold on just a second. So I have a comment that came in from Miss Lee, and she says, probably a bad choice for Ted Cruz. He said his kids wanted to get away, but still want values. But still, what values are you teaching? Okay, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, you're back. Okay, if you still wanted to speak, please come in because I definitely want to hear your situation. If you want to come back, the link is in the chat box. So I definitely think that. Thank you, Miss Lee, for your comment too. I definitely believe that, like Miss Vicky said, it was a very bad decision on values, and it really showed how much you cared about the people in a sense. I think it really showed the lack of care that you gave the people, because you could have been out helping, pass out water for those without water. You could have been out giving out blankets, something that would have helped not only your political campaign, but it would have also made you human. But to go on a vacation in the midst of of all of what was going through in your state, your home state at that, I just don't see how that was beneficial to you. I don't see how that was beneficial to anybody. And I don't understand how people are going to allow him to stay in office and possibly even vote him back in office. I really hope that people keep that on their mind as we move forward. I really hope that people keep that on their mind as we move forward, because it's crazy, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. I think that was it was bad policy on our representative team here in Texas. And again, another way of the nation's looking at us and seeing the leadership that we have.
And then all the people sat there knowing what was going to happen, or the potential, the magnitude in which it did happen. And you had to call the federal government to get help. You had to call Joe Biden. Mm-hmm. Well, he called you, and you accepted the help because you knew what you were doing was wrong. And again, the whole world sees what's happening in Texas.
Yeah.
That is not good.
And I mean, in one way, we've seen the world cry out. You see so many people trying to bring in help from other neighboring states and even states near and far, because I've seen people coming from Northeast with truckloads of materials. Although we're on the backside of the issue, we still do have a lot of people going through that are without, including one of the people here in our audience today. And I'm at a word loss, because we're the laughing stock of a nation. I mean, I've seen so many videos, people laughing and making fun of what we as Texas, and everybody knows Texas is a proud state. I mean, we are a proud state. We have a state that has been economically sufficient. And we don't usually go through a lot of the issues other states go through on the level that they go through. Let me say that. And to see our state take such a downfall is crazy. I'm going to bring in this person. Oh, wait. Can I? Okay, make sure you connect your mic. I see you, but your mic is not connected, so it won't let me bring you in. Let me see. Make sure you connect your mic, and then I'll
And
be able to bring you in.
And Brandon, well,
Mhm.
you know what I teach. And this just goes all the way back to Texas being its own country. We don't want anybody else's help because we have always wanted to be self-sufficient. So the fact that the governor, had to ask for federal assistance on the state's behalf, why didn't you just fix the problem back in 2011 when the people told you what you needed to do? And the fact that you did not mandate it, regulate it, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. But
I
of course, we know how, he operates anyway. Well, I won't even go into that part, but, it's very sad to know that when you've been told this is what could potentially happen and you just sat back and decided, no, I'm not going to do any of that because I want Texas to be, I want it to have its own electricity and I'm not going to regulate anything, deregulate anything.
Mhm.
It was supposed to happen. It was bound to happen.
Right. And I heard that they knew about this since 1989 because that's when El Paso did not go. That's when El Paso decided to leave. And I know El Paso at this point is happy they have left. They didn't join the rest of the nation of the state. And I'm hoping that Dallas and other cities, but definitely I hope Dallas decides to go a different direction too because they see that this is not working. It may not be ERCOT's direct fault, but it's definitely poor leadership. I'm gonna put a pin right there. Shay just came in, and I definitely want to give her a chance to speak while she has signal because I know she's still without some things. Okay, Shay, I'm bringing you up. All right. Hey, Shay.
Hey, can you hear me?
I can. I hear you well. Welcome, welcome. I definitely want to give you the floor to say your pieces because I definitely see that you're still having some issues down there in the more southern Texas area. So definitely take the floor. Tell me your opinions, what you're going through, and I definitely would love for you to share as much as you would like to share.
Yes, I just want to talk about how emotionally and mentally draining this experience was. I have two small children, and I never ever thought I would have to stress about keeping them alive, like keeping them warm in 9-degree weather. We've never experienced that type of cold before, and definitely have never experienced it without the option to have heat. And then we also didn't have water. So it was just very, 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 very draining. Um, I didn't know what I was going to feed them without electricity and water. It was just awful. And I feel like Texas definitely should have been better prepared. Like, this is something I would never, ever want to experience again, ever. It's horrible. And I'm still without water today.
Have they given you any notice on how much longer you would be without water in your area?
No, I just got a note on my door today from my apartment saying that they still have no timeline as to when the water will be cut back on. They brought out like some tanks of some kind with like clean water for us to go fill up from a hose or whatever. But that's it. We don't have running water, and they don't know when they're going to get it cut back on.
Okay. And then your electricity, I know through us speaking offline that you were without electricity for a while. When did you finally get electricity back? Or have you finally got electricity back?
I have electricity. I was only without electricity for, it was less than 24 hours. But even when it came back on without running water, it was still like, okay, well, what are we gonna do? What can I cook? What can I do? It was horrible. Like I never want to experience this again, ever.
And I was almost the opposite. See, I had running water the whole time, but I didn't have electricity the whole time. So, and my electric heater, my house is all electric, so my water heater is electric. So of course, with electricity, I have no hot water. So it's like I can only do so much with freezing, and I mean freezing cold water. So,
Yeah.
like I said at the beginning, I couldn't take a bath, for a couple of days because you don't know, I was in the rolling blackout area. Well, they were rolling our blackouts, but I mean the on was so short that taking a bath would have been detrimental to my health.
Right.
Because you'd have those open pores and it was sub-freezing. I mean, my house at the worst of it was in the low 40s. I mean, my house was almost hitting freezing temperatures to where I was really scared of bursting pipes here. So I almost saw the opposite of what you saw. I had the water with no electricity, and at least you've had electricity, but without water, I do understand. My cousin down the way went through similar situations as you. Their apartment I want to say they had someone's pipe busted, and I saw a lot of that here throughout Texas. And they cut their building off, so they had electricity the whole time. He never went without electricity, but they've been without water. And he was like, "Man, like we can't flush our toilets. I had water, I was filling it up, but once they cut those pipes off, it's like, I mean, your house is stinking because you're having to use the restroom, but you can't get the smell out, because of stuff. It's just crazy, and I can only semi imagine what that must be like."
Yeah, me and my oldest son were out every day that it was snow. We were out filling up buckets of snow, putting it in the bathtub so we could have water to be able to flush the toilets. Like, it just was horrible. It was really, I just don't want to experience this again.
Yeah, I saw some of that, on the offline because we do have, we're friends. So I saw some of that in your offline, and I just thought that was one, resilient that you were using what you had to get by, but it definitely kicks in your survival mode, does it not? I want to ask you this, because I don't have children, but how was that on your kids? Can you speak a little bit to that?
I mean, I don't really think they understood what was going on other than that first day that our electricity went out, when I instantly panicked because I'm like, okay, it's 9 degrees outside. How are we gonna stay warm? Like, what is happening? So I think they sensed my panic and that made them feel a type of way. But after that, all they wanted to do was play in the snow. So like, it didn't really affect them, but it was really hard on me just because I never thought I would be in a position where I don't have utilities and I still have to take care of my children.
Right. I commend you because I know that that's hard. You trying to be the hero to your two sons and not knowing how you're going to keep it all together in the face of adversity. I mean, that has to be truly, truly hard. And I mean, I can only think about what that must feel like because again, I don't have that issue, personally. But my heart goes out to all the parents, but also all the single parents out there that had to go through this on their own. I mean, because it came a point to where, and I noticed this across a lot of different people's posts and things when I was able to see, because I was, plugging in when I could and using my battery from my computer to try to charge my phone. And it was so much, but just seeing how many people were really trying to be resilient. I mean, being creative, coming up with the survival modes, trying to be positive in the face of adversity. And I can only imagine in some sense, I only had to worry about me and my animals. So it wasn't as bad. My stress level wasn't as high. To add a small child or a little baby, like I had someone I know who just literally had a baby. So the baby was only a couple of weeks old, I knew someone else that, had just lost a baby right before the shutdown. So, the mental impact that it has on different people and it is stressful because you have the questions of not knowing the when, the where, the why. You're in the dark, the cold. I mean, this is just something that we as people did not expect to fail as bad. I think everything you can kind of expect a little bit of malfunction, but to be on the massive level that we had it on, definitely was questionable.
Yeah.
And so that was that. Okay, so real quick, anything else you want to share with us about, maybe in your area or other things that maybe you saw that you would like to contribute, or anything on Ted Cruz you would like to contribute at this point?
Yeah, I'm not gonna speak on Ted Cruz. I don't want to get into politics at all because I will start ranting a little bit too much, and I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
But my mother and my grandmother, they were without electricity the entire time. They didn't get electricity until like Friday. So from Sunday to Friday, they were literally just in the house, bundled up, trying to figure it out. And I don't know. This has really just been too much.
Wow, that is crazy. That is definitely crazy. I can only imagine what they may look like. And I really, really, really hate that everybody had to go through this. I really thank you for willing to be a part of our panel and share your experiences. It really means a lot. And definitely hearing it from someone who's still going through the issues and the offset of what's happening is it's eye opening.
Brandon, may I please say something?
Go ahead. It's an open panel.
And you said this is Shay that we're speaking to?
Not the Shay but yes, another right. Shay.
Okay, well, my heart goes out to you, and you just hang in there. It's going to definitely get better. And if I may suggest, if you haven't already, keep the faucets open so that when the water does come on, whatever is melted in the pipes will have somewhere to go. So keep all the pipes, turn all the faucets on to like a drip so that when they do come on, you won't have water damage.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for that.
Okay. Let's see. So I just sent out the last call to anyone else who wants to join or share their point. I didn't want to make this a very long live, but I definitely wanted to hit those crucial topics because y'all, it's so much to dissect. And even with the hour and a half that we've almost put into this, there's still so much more to uncover. There's so much more that we could definitely say and bring up that we have not done so. But I thank everyone who's been a part. So I just want to, let's see, I want to get ready for our last words, but I want to make sure that everybody who had something to say has been able to say it. I see another comment that came in. This one I can't share from Miss Lee again. She said, great advice. And she's talking to you, Miss King, that you gave great advice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was passed on to me, so.
Look, y'all, this is when we're having to truly stick together as people and be resilient and learn from each other. I know one thing that I saw going around was a lot of people passing that FEMA number around, and I'm hearing that it was pre them getting help from the government, so that I don't want to call it a scam, but it wasn't accurate. It was not approved by the federal government for the help yet. So if you were seeing that FEMA number pass around, they just approved, just got the help approved. I've been watching that from Judge Clay Jenkins' page. But I had just been seeing that they just got that help from the national government just like a day or so ago. I want to say it was yesterday. So that FEMA number was out prematurely for our state. So not saying that, it's a scheme, but it was not approved yet. So they can't give us, they're not able to give the help at the time of what we were hoping for. But I think now they are allowing you to, some of them are paying for some hotels and some things like that for those people that are still displaced or without. So keep that in mind, y'all, as we're passing and sharing information. A lot of times hitting the share button is easy, but verify the source, verify if the information is true for yourself before you put it out there, because what you don't want to do is get somebody caught up, because we do still have those people out there that will take advantage of a situation, unfortunately. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news in that, but we don't want anybody to make matters worse on your back end. So be very careful with that information. All right. I still have one guest backstage. I'm not for sure if that person still wants to share or not. I'm waiting to see if that person wants to share at all. Um, let me see. I'm hitting real quick before I get ready to close us out. But I do appreciate again everybody being here, and this conversation meant a lot. Definitely having those voices and those faces come on, it really means a lot. Definitely gonna have to hit a lighter topic next time because this one is heavy. I can feel the weight of it. Let me see. Um, I was okay. I haven't got a response yet, but so what I do want to go ahead and do is go ahead and let Miss King and Shay leave their last closing. Oh, hold on. Okay, we have one person that wants to come on real quick and join, and then we'll get ready for our closing remarks. All right. So I'm gonna bring our other person up. So hold on just a second. And hey, Miss Bailey,
What's up?
how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Not much. You're in the company with Miss King and my other friend Shay, not the Shay that you know, but our other friend Shay. And so I know you've been backstage for a minute. I know you wasn't ready to come up, but I do want to give you a chance to, give your weigh in on any of what we discussed. We discussed several things. So we talked about just the whole weather, the car wreck was a little part of it, the weather, our preparation, our leadership, the Ted Cruz issue, any of those things that you really want to weigh in real quick on.
Well, all I can say is Ted Cruz better not win another election. Because he gonna go to Cancun again. How do I preface this? All I will say is that in the last year, and let's see, we've been in this for a year and 2-3 months now.
Mm-hmm.
You have went from a pandemic to a winter storm that created a disaster in half of Texas. And the problem herein lies is that it's not just affecting, at this point, it's not just affecting our communities. It's affecting everybody. My biggest question is, would he have gotten back on the plane and returned if it was us that had said something about it? Because when you think about it, the people that put it on blast was his own people.
Mm-hmm.
It was his own supporters.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what is he doing going to Cancun? And and then it was okay when he explained, well, my kids are out of school for the week, so they want to go to Cancun. Is that what you teaching your children? Is that when there's an issue, you run away to a nice little island, or you run away from the problem? Because I think that this was a situation where everybody had to learn a little bit of resiliency and learn how to survive in otherwise a situation that normal other countries might have would have dealt with more so than us. And it goes to show that we need to be a whole lot more involved in the political process. Being involved in the political process allows us to have a whole lot more of a say so. It should not have gotten to that extent. And now you're trying to put all kinds of things in place as far as the government is concerned that is going to protect the future. But what's the chance of a winter storm happening again? Why weren't we prepared for this one? It was no way that accident should have involved 133 cars. Let's start there. What started that? Why was ice on the interstate? When you had already declared with the president at that time that you got essential workers, which means you got people that had to go to the hospitals, people that had to go to the fire departments, the police departments. So those people were going to still have to travel no matter what. So what measures could have been put in place are already there that could have maybe, if not prevented it, it could have at least minimized it. So that was a dramatic situation, and people got affected by that. And then only for the situation to get worse when you're doing those rolling power outages and stuff like that. And then only to find out, they pick and chose basically what neighborhoods they were rolling electricity, So okay, let me do my research. Let me find out if it was, certain particular areas, or was it actually fair? Because like I got a girlfriend of mine, and she just got power yesterday, maybe. I think that's what she said. She got power yesterday. She hadn't had power in over a week. So, she doesn't live too far, from here. But it just goes to show, when they went and started rolling, electricity, some people got affected in more ways than one. Some people got their power right back, but some people didn't. And what did you do about that? So there's a lot of questions that's out there, but I think the biggest thing now is that a lot of people's eyes are open that they need to be involved in the political process, and knowing that voting is extremely important.
Very important.
Doing your
Miss
research.
Lee said, "Tell him, Miss Bailey." I can't put it up on the screen, but you
Yeah.
gotta come. He said, "Tell him, Miss Bailey."
I mean, it's crazy. We got, all these different movements and protests and stuff like that. We need to be involved in those, but we also need to be involved in the biggest process that there is, and that's the political process. And we need to do our homework. We need to stop relying on other people to tell us who to vote for. Know for yourself that your vote is going to benefit you. Yeah. He wouldn't have been in office had the right people voted. I mean, it is what it is.
We push a lot of the 4-year voting for president. I think we need to put more emphasis on the 2-year voting and the local voting.
And the 1-year voting, the local voting, it starts there. The president push is great, but I think a lot of things and how it personally affects your home, your area, your school is done locally. And to see what agendas these people are pushing. The problem is, I think when we do go and vote for these small elections, we just push whoever is the party. Because we're not reading, we're not learning who those people are. We can't even put a face to those people. And then we want to fuss and complain when things like the rolling electrical outages, people not having power, the water has to come from everywhere else except, when you got all those issues on the plate, on the plate, you need to know who's at the dinner table. So my heart goes out to especially Houston. I found out tonight Houston is still struggling. While I think we're on the come up. We still got some areas that are messed up, and then you got people's homes and stuff that got bursted pipes and all this kind of stuff. But apparently Houston overall is still in a bad predicament, even with power and stuff. So it just lends the hand of telling you we just got to be a little bit more involved in our communities and know who's guiding us and making those decisions at that level, at the local level.
Thank you. That is definitely fact and truth about everything, and I definitely think you're right on the mark with everything that we've stated today. And I do these panels because we need to weigh in on certain topics, and I just I could not fathom going through this myself and knowing that everyone around me going through this, and we don't talk about it. Like, how do you not talk about it?
Right.
Because the world needs to know, and although it only may be a couple of people that may see this, those people will be impacted. You never know how this is going to go back and help somebody else who needs this to hear that they're not okay. You know what I'm saying? Because there are a lot of people who have some emotional and social issues that were not able to take it. They were not okay. And that's something that we definitely needed to be aware of. But I definitely wanted to bring it in. Y'all know I could really go in on Ted Cruz a whole bunch more. I'm actually holding back. I came ready to do a firing squad.
All I will say is that if we can get out there and volunteer and donate, to our, especially to our own communities, and to help in our areas, please do so. I mean, that is how some of our people are really going to make it through. you know, you got people that their houses are messed up, so they're gonna need some help in getting those houses cleaned up. And insurance people are only gonna come and do the estimates and stuff like that, but they still have to do cleanups and all that kind of stuff and salvage what they can, throw away what they can. So help those people. Find out who needs help in your area. Find out if it's a relative, a friend of a friend. Because I mean, that's gonna be probably my efforts for this week, is just to find out if anybody needs anything or if they need any kind of help and go from there. So I do urge everybody to go ahead and actually, you know, try to do that if they can.
So I'm going to repost those links from Shay Love. She was so kind to give us those links. I definitely want to make sure I can get those reposted in the group. I'll be going back in there and reposting some of those after our live so that you can make sure those stay relevant to everyone that is here. Again, I want to go ahead and give our last remarks. Someone may have me on TV or another phone. You might want to turn that down. There's a little reverb coming in. But I want to go ahead and let y'all give y'all last remarks before I give mine. So I'm going to start with Shay. Anything else you want to leave us? Your last closing remarks before I let you go?
I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be on here and my experience. And thank you for doing this panel. It needed to be talked about. A lot of people on social media from, you know, up north and things like that were making a lot of jokes about it. And I don't think they realized just how serious this was, how much people have been suffering. So thank you for doing this panel and, you know, putting the information out there. And I did share it on my business page. I have over 12,000 followers on there. So hopefully, you know, you get your subscribers up and whatnot. But just thank you for doing this panel.
I'm really shocked because that was a big number. Yeah, I don't do this for the subscribers. I just know that, you know, when you get a certain number, YouTube opens up more opportunities for you. And I'm just trying to open up the next wave of opportunities, not necessarily for the financial gains, but I'm trying to get a community tab, and I have to have at least 100 followers, and I don't have that. So I'm trying to get a community tab so I can start sharing certain things with our lives and things about our topics and things. And I can't grow that community without the subscriber base, unfortunately. I really appreciate you, Shay, and I'm really praying for you. Again, if you need anything, please let me know. I've donated my own personal money to several people that have gone through worse than I have this week, just because I don't think it's right. You know, people need help, and money is something, you know, we'll temporarily struggle, but that paycheck will come again. So, you know, I'm not worried about it. But if you need anything, if there's anything I can do for you, I mean, sincerely reach out to me. There's nothing, I'm not saying this for the show. I mean it genuinely. Like, I will be a supporter of you. You know, I love you genuinely. Ever since I met you, I love you genuinely. So,
yes. I appreciate that.
No problem. I'm going to go ahead and let you go, and then I'm going to move on to Miss King for your final remarks, okay?
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care. Well, Brandon, you know how I feel about you, buddy. And again, I just thank you for providing the space, the opportunity for people to be able to share. And, you know, that's exactly what we did. You had somebody sharing resources, great resources. You have somebody that was, you know, sharing a personal story. And, you know, I'm just a supporter. I support you, Brandon, all the time. And thank you. And I just pray for the leadership here in Texas, and just praying for, you know, families and children that are truly suffering. Again, I just have to keep mopping up this water until the people can come see about me. But, you know, it's not that big of a deal. I'm warm, I'm safe. My mother is good. She's warm, she's safe. And, you know, God is good all the time. So that's it. And thank you.
Thank you, Miss King. I really appreciate you. And I hope you have a good night. Thank you again for joining and sharing and being here. I really appreciate your support.
Thank you.
All right.
And
bye-bye.
I turned my camera on, and you don't do stuff like that.
You did, but I really appreciate you. They needed to see the face behind the voice, but your voice is the power, but your face just helps. I appreciate you, and I will let you go. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. Thank you. Take care, everybody.
So Miss Bailey, it's down to me and you. I'm so glad that you're here on the weigh in. I've been waiting for you to come back because you've made an appearance before, but definitely want your last closing remarks. I think you hit a lot on the nail, and I think being that you came in late, I think it'd be right to let you close us out before I give my final closing remarks.
Well, just like I said, be involved. Be involved in the political process. Be involved in your local community, and make sure you go out, and if you're able and capable of going out and volunteering your services, if you can make donations to people. If nothing else, a case of water will go a long way for a person who doesn't have water home. It helps. It helps tremendously. Cook a meal for your next door neighbor. It's all about showing yourself friendly, because you never know when you're actually going to have to go through a storm yourself. And it could be a physical storm or a spiritual, mental storm. You never know when you're going to have to go through something and you're going to need people. So it's always good for you to show yourself friendly and do for others. And good is going to always come back to you when you open your hearts to the community.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bailey. I think you hit a nail on the head. I appreciate you for joining us, and I'm gonna bid you adieu. And I'm gonna get ready to make my last closing remarks.
Bye-bye.
All right, y'all. So thank y'all again for joining the weigh in, y'all. We have hit so much in a small amount of time. An hour and 47 minutes doesn't feel quite long enough to really dive in, but I think we scratched the surface of what we needed. Let's see. Vicky Lee said, great panel talk. Thanks to all, and our host, Brandon. Thank you, Miss Vicky. I appreciate you for your comments. I really hate that I can't put them up on the board, but thank you so much. I see you in the comment section. One thing I want to make us aware of real quick before I get ready to close us out is that check on your neighbors. I think Miss Bailey said that as well. Check on your neighbors, y'all. If you haven't seen them come outside, make sure that's how they found the guy that was freezing in his recliner. They said, I've even read a newspaper story that said a child froze as well that was in his teenage years. So we definitely want to make sure we check on everyone. Ms. Washington, you're still here. Thank you so much. I wasn't for sure if you were going to be able to take part tonight, but I know you're here, and I thank you because you're a big contributor to my conversations. All right. I definitely want to make sure you check on your neighbors. Make sure you've seen them, knock on the door, be nosy, be that neighbor. Be that neighbor today. It's okay. We definitely need to make sure everybody's okay and well accounted for. Thanks for bringing all this to the light in a different way. I try. I know there's probably a better way I could have done it, but I did the best that I could in the amount of time I had. It's hard because I'm not a political. I don't like to talk. I'm political in thought, but I don't like to talk politics. It's just a rough subject. But we have to face those adversities and bring it up. Thank you, Ms. Washington. One thing I want to bring to aware real quick before we leave is that again, like Ms. Bailey said, make sure y'all are bringing it. If you can't get the regular water, y'all, you get the healthy water, the fitness water, the Propel, all those different more healthy waters. They may cost a little more, but they work. They're still water. They will hydrate your body. The Gatorades, the Powerades, all those things. You definitely, I know a lot of people are trying to go to like H-E-B, Walmart, and Target. Y'all, those big chain grocery stores are going to be out of supplies a lot quicker and a lot longer because that's where the natural people will gravitate towards. Try to go to your smaller stores in your smaller community areas that are not necessarily by big freeways or big big crossroads, in a smaller section of community like a Tom Thumbs or an Albertsons or a Costmark or a Save, a Winco or something like that. There are so many different grocery stores in areas, but try to go to the smaller stores that's built more in a neighborhood setting that are not necessarily in the big mass opening where a lot of people would drive by. They have low traffic areas so that you could go. I know I go to an Albertsons over near me by a lot. And even when the pandemic first hit and even when the winter storm, they've been mostly stocked of everything. When other stores were without chemicals, they had the chemicals. When other stores had no meat supplies, they have almost a full wall. There's a section like the sandwich meat area that was hit really hard, but they had all the other goods. I could go in there and get all of my necessities to be able to continue once I got over the the bulk of the storm. I didn't go and shop before the winter storm hit because I knew there were families that needed it. And remember, don't hoard stuff, y'all. I know that's hard to say, but we definitely want to make sure that people are thinking about other people. You go and you buy a lot of supplies for your family, but then you forget there are other families who need it. Get what you need to survive for the couple of days. I knew I had enough in my home to survive for the couple of days of bad weather we were going to have. So I didn't want to shop up what other people may need to survive. So keep that in mind, y'all. We are our brother's keepers, whether you want to be or not. We're here for everybody. You say you were great, real and relatable. I really appreciate that, y'all. It's a struggle. Y'all don't realize it's hard to come on here and be prepared for who's. You never know who's going to show up. He says, I'm here to help if someone needs water. Thank you, Miss Washington. So there's another resource. If you're in the local Dallas area, Miss Washington can help definitely get you to the water sources. Again, don't forget those great resources that Shay Love left us with. I want to, again, flash those across the screen real quick. You have the disaster relief, disasterassistance.gov. Those are in the chat box. I will go in after the live and repost them again just to make sure you can see them. And then you definitely had this one here, which is a Google Doc, which is a little bit longer for you to go in and get some assistance, y'all. Please use those resources. You got people, reach out, make sure you get the help. Ms. Washington's willing to give water. Shay Loves opened up her home in the Austin area and surrounding areas if you need her. Just keep in mind, y'all, we are our brother's keepers. One thing I want to say is without God, any of this would not be possible, whether you're a believer or not a believer, y'all. There is a higher being, a higher power that is watching over us, and we made it through. And that alone deserves the victory. And I'm greatly appreciated that we were chosen to make it through. And I'm glad to see that we are here on the other side of what could have been a disaster. But keep in mind, there are a lot of people who did not make it. So let's make sure we send up warm thoughts and prayers for them and the families that are suffering. Think about the families that are still suffering from the car wreck. Let me see. We got another message that says, if they need help, reach out to us. We can help even in the smallest ways possible. Yes. Miss Bailey sent me another message saying that if they need help, please reach out to any of us, including myself. We would definitely be willing to help in any way possible and do what we can. Okay. But definitely think about all the people that did not make it and how their families are still affected. The people who just had that big national car wreck that made national headlines and they had to go through this storm and weather all of that. So think about the mental stress, y'all. Please, 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 as minority people, people of brown and black skin, and even for my non-minorities, mental health. I cannot speak on that greatly enough. Mental health, please seek counseling, seek refuge from somebody who can talk you through your emotions. Do not bottle that stuff in. It is as negative. It is as poisonous as water that has not been treated, okay? So we want to make sure we keep that in mind. Y'all, we have weighed in tonight. This was a good one. We've always been on here 2 hours. We have weighed in tonight on several topics. Just want to quickly go over what we talked about. We've talked about the car wreck that happened that started the whole winter storm. We've talked about the electricity company. We've talked about Judge Clay Jenkins. We've talked about the water. We've had live visitors that have come on and shared their stories and their opinions. We've talked about the failed leadership of our state here in Texas. We've talked about Ted Cruz and his Cancun getaway that was meant for, I don't know, because we don't really know the truth because his lies have surrounded us. But neither here or there, y'all. We've talked about it all. We've weighed in, and don't let the conversation stop today. We want to continue to weigh in on these topics, hold our leadership accountable, and definitely continue to make those changes that are needed in our community so that we can live a better life and a thriving life. Y'all, I want to thank each and every one who joined us tonight, who talked, who commented, who did anything, whether it was just watching and sharing. I appreciate you, y'all. Don't let this conversation fall on dead ears. Definitely share it out to other people who may need to hear it, who may need to get some of the resources that we have or hear that someone else feels how they feel. We've heard it, some great commentary tonight. Again, I want to thank each and every one of my panelists who joined. I want to thank each and every commenter that came on tonight, y'all. And I think this conversation definitely served the purpose that I was hoping that it would serve. I can't wait for next week. I will post our topic by Wednesday to see what our new weigh-in topic is going to be. I don't know yet, but it's going to hit me like they always do. And I can't wait, but I will definitely try to pick something on the lighter side of things since this one was a little heavier on our hearts. I hope that you all have a wonderful week and be blessed, y'all, as you get back to your regular work life, as you go through your journeys through the streets and everything. Please be safe. Y'all, people are still out there crashing at each other because they couldn't wait to get outside. I saw one in front of me the other day, the first time I had left my house in 7 days. And it was so sad. Like after going through all that, then you get into another car crash like this. It's just too much, okay? So let's make sure we're being safe. Drive for those who are not driving safely around you. And again, we're going to weigh it in, y'all. And remember, help me please get to 100 subscribers. Not that you have to get on my page and do anything. I just trying to get the community tab so that we can, I can start to leave community notices in my YouTube. So if you could easily subscribe to my YouTube channel at UC Dance, that is my YouTube channel. You'll see my face. I actually put a picture up on there now, and it'll help me grow my subscriber base so that I can get that community tab. That means a lot to me. That's my next goal, is to get the community tab. I would like to start a YouTube community on there for my subscribers. All right. Other than that, I want to say thank you, and I appreciate each and every one of you for being here tonight, and thank you for weighing in. We are now an hour and 56 minutes into the conversation, and I think it's time to bid everyone adieu, y'all. But before we go, I think we should end everything with a prayer. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to quickly give us a prayer for the week and for continued coverage. If this is not your thing, it's okay, and I understand you're leaving, all right? So, dear Lord, I want to thank you for allowing us to come together in a brotherhood and a family to bond and to talk about these topics, Lord. As you continue to lead us through our journeys and our pathway, I ask that you please cover each and every person that came here tonight. Cover those who watched, cover those who checked in, cover those who left comments, and cover all those who didn't get a chance to even see that this was happening, Lord. Please continue to guide them on their way, help them get through this pandemic and this winter storm that has happened in 2021, Lord. Let them know that you are still the leader of our light and the pathway unto our life. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Y'all, I thank you so much. I hope y'all have a good night, and I'm going to talk to you later, y'all. If you have any topic suggestions, hit me up in my inbox, because I definitely want to weigh in on anything that y'all think is topic worthy. All right, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good one, and bye.